it. Here we see Jin Nakamura just making his way down the start-finish straight now, jumping over from the FRECA Championship. 15th place goes Japan's Jin Nakamura. 4 Japanese drivers on the grid, as Piers referred to. There we go. There's another sideways moment there for Finn.
There's that commitment I was talking about. Always committed. But let's with Finn's specific situation, British F4, very competitive championship. However, hugely different cars, because F4 cars are much slower, less aerodynamic grip, less tyre grip, less power. They feel different. They have to drive them quite differently to these FIA F3 cars as well. But also the circuits are very different. In the UK, lots of tight, twisty circuits, very technical, good for developing car control. But the circuits we visit on the FIA F3 calendar are FIA Grade 1 circuits, you know, Silverstone's, Albert Park, Barcelona, as we see Freddie Slater backing it into the last corner, going over the curbs twice. It's a very different, I'd say, different circuit, different way you have to drive. With these bigger Formula 1 circuits, you have to carry the speed. The average speed is much higher. It's a lot less start-stop, and that'll be something that Finn McLaughlin has to get used to as well.
Now, it's almost like he's done this on purpose, Freddie Slater. He's waited for the track to go quiet, and he's out there, and all the cameras are on him. This entry into the Formula 3 Championship for Freddie Slater has had a lot of people excited, and has been a long time coming. There you can see his statistics to the right-hand side. He is a multi-champion already, is Freddie Slater. As he just comes into the last corner, there you can see the rear wheel on the grass. But Freddie Slater has been hugely successful in the likes of Ginetta Jr. winning that, F4 Championships winning that as well. Won FRECA last year, beating Matteo De Paolo. All of that then led to the announcement of him being part of the Audi driver development program, which Alan McNish is overseeing. And he is coming here to win this, isn't he, Piers? There's no other for him. He's going to be going for the championship win. No doubt, and also that's the lines that the Audi young driver program headed by Alan McNish are going with. That he's coming here not to make up the numbers. He is currently the only driver on the Audi junior program. A lot of faith being put in the young Briton to go out there and have a good result this season, even as a rookie. We saw him for one event last year, didn't we, Chris? He joined us in AIX in Bahrain and impressed in that. But his CV reads about as good as you can get. European OK Junior Karting Champion 21, European KZ2 Champion 2022, Ginetta Junior Champion 23, Middle Eastern and Italian F4 Champion 2024, FRECA Champion 2025. It's a CV that he's building, which has given him the confidence of a lot of those in motorsport who are making decisions, including Audi, and he'll be looking to try and return that faith with another championship in 26. But he's going to have to beat his teammate, this man here, who pushed him all the way in FRECA last year. Yeah, and these guys have a lot of respect for each other, and that grew significantly last year. Anytime during that championship fight between Slater and De Paolo you spoke to either of them, the first thing they said was almost complimenting each other and how hard it was to race the other driver. Matteo De Paolo gave Trident their first victory in Trident, and De Paolo in theory has a slight advantage that he stayed with Trident and Slater has joined Trident in F3, but they're also in arguably the strongest team in F3. I mean, saying that, Campos at Team Championship last year, but the drivers' champion in the last few years has been a Trident driver. This is De Paolo just running a little bit wide, but tell us a little bit, Piers, how is that when you've got a teammate that you really want to beat as Brad Benavides? There you can see that bump there where we saw an off earlier from Hoytsenroder. Benavides just doing the same thing, lock up into turn 1 here.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Your teammates, you have to work with them to a certain extent in FIA F3, much as you do in Formula 1, because you're all driving the same car, you've got a similar setup on, and your feedback not only benefits yourself, but also your teammates, and you're hoping that your teammates' feedback will benefit you. But then come race day, they are just another car to beat on circuit. These drivers don't get paid by the teams. They bring the money, the budget, through sponsorship, through their own money, through whatever means, to go and race in FIA F3. And it's not insignificant amount of money either. So effectively, you are in it for yourself and you're working with the team for your own benefit, but you can use your teammates' experience and their knowledge to benefit yourselves. So it's an interesting one to play, and teammates quite often fall out. Teammates quite often become great friends, and often somewhere in between. But it's very, very interesting how the team dynamics can play a role, both as the team's success, but also individual drivers. And why don't we jump on board with one of our returning drivers, Tuka Tappinen, as we head flat out down towards turn number 3. This is the first DRS zone, full DRS zone on the circuit. Now this technical little 3, 4, 5 section, making sure car placement is absolutely critical through here. If you're a bit too wide or a bit too narrow into the corners, it messes up the next corner and you can hemorrhage tenths. And then a slightly reprofiled over the last few years, turn 6, really, really medium speed, fully committed corner there. Slight change on the exit, now a strip of grass where there was tarmac last year. And now we had flat out through turn 8, the kinks as we head up towards turn 9. This is the second full DRS zone on the circuit, and the place where I expect to see the most overtakes this weekend. We can see overtakes inside and outside into this 9 and 10. Very, very fast chicane, leaning on the tyres, the Pirelli tyres we've got this weekend, the medium compound, and using the aerodynamic grip. Another DRS zone now down towards turn 11, a big braking zone. Drivers can retake positions they've lost into turn 9, or maybe affect an overtake having got closer through that second DRS zone. And then lower speed final section of the lap. We've got the 12 just been through the right-hander, 13 slower than you think, but then don't use all the exit on the road on the right on the exit of 13, because you have to open up the final corner 14, which then brings us off onto the start-finish straight, and another DRS zone down towards turn number 1. Turn number 1, not a big braking zone, so don't expect too many moves during the race, but at the start of the race, it always funnels down and brings cars together there, so watch out for that at the start of the races, as we now look at the number 27 AIX car locking up once again, Evan David towards turn 1.
Wow,